Hello, hello. Hi everybody, how are we doing? I can see there's a few of you chatting away in the chat already. Usual situation, just let me know that the volume's okay, video's okay, light's okay, all that kind of stuff. It seems like you're all doing really exciting things this afternoon. Oh goodness me, you've got, obviously we've got Thea, hi Thea, and we've got Jan. I'd like to say hello to Andrea, who's never been in a live with us before, so hello Andrea, welcome. You'll get used to all the shenanigans fairly quickly. April's here and she's not here, so we'll not say hi to April. Oh, such orange. Hello Christine, who's just popped in. Yes, I am sporting my offensive orange jumper today. I am absolutely freezing, like I am stone cold, and we're nearly at the middle of June, and I have my central heating on. I actually have the heating on because I'm that cold. I've also just made myself a fresh cup of tea, trying to keep myself warm. So that is where we are at today. I just want my hands and my feet to be warm. Andrea loves shenanigans. Oh, good stuff. Right, okay. So, I've been a busy wee bee today. Hi, Terry. You're checking in from Tennessee. Are you visiting your relatives? Normally, Terry is not in Tennessee, unsurprisingly. Is that a different time zone for you then, Terry? I'm not great on my. I'm trying to think where Hawaii is and where Tennessee is, and that might be. Is it a different time zone? Tell me. Ulrika is in shorts and t-shirts with an ice lolly. Well, I wish I could say the same. It's not actually cold outside. It's not cold. It's just me that's cold. But it's been very changeable today. It's been quite showery and then kind of bursts of sunshine and then back to showers. So, yeah, okay. So, back to the Cluckmarine. Let's just change this. There we go, that's better. So we're back where we need to be in here, and I did have all my pencils sat out that we were using last time. So for anybody that missed the last stream, we're using our Polychromos pencils here for our Cluckmarine. So today is going to be a lot of colour pencil work. I'll just zoom this in so that we can see what's going on. And yeah, I'm kind of hoping we'll get finished today. We might not. I do have to be finished quite sharp. So I've just got a really busy day today and there's loads of stuff going on. The remaining cows that I've yet to calve, which was 5, have been put in the paddock just out here, so like directly behind my garden fence, and we have a fresh baby. So I think the movement and the activity of being outside is maybe, you know, there's a bit of rumbling about going on in the old bellies. So the baby that has come out, I have only seen from a distance. I haven't been to see it yet, but Mr. Jem informs me that it is very beautiful and it's a little girl. So there you go. That is cow news for today. So 4 left to go. 4 left to go. Hi Patty, 10 AM and you made it. Thumbs up indeed. Jan's got a big warm shirt on, but not had to put the heating on. Yeah, it's normally I don't think it would warrant having the heating on. I have lost a wee bit of weight, and the last time I lost weight I was cold all the time, so I'm attributing it to that. And it's not a bad reason to be cold, but being cold just makes me absolutely miserable. And the fact that I'm going to be sitting here for 2 hours and not really moving about, I was like 100% I'm putting the heating on. Okay, so we're going to work on the body of this Cluckmarine because you can see we're quite patchy colour-wise. So we want to get this nice rich colour feeling and not dissimilar to how we ended up down here. And remember, this was with Crayolas. So we do have work to do, and I'm just going to go a section at a time. So the 3 pencils I'm going to be using for this, just in case you're interested, as I said, Polychromos. We've got the cadmium yellow, we have the dark cadmium yellow, and finally we have the terracotta pencil also. So let's get to work. Helps if the pencil's the right way round, but we'll make a start here. I'm just going to switch these windows around. I normally do this before we start, but I was kind of running about right up to the last kick there. You know, sometimes I come in and chit chat for a wee bit before we actually start officially. I haven't done the official opening this time. I don't think it warrants it because I think most of you that are here were here last week as well. Just kind of adjust myself so that I can read your chat. That would be nice. Cluckmarine, yay! Hello, Elise. Nice to see you. I know you were going to make an effort to try and be here this week, so thank you and welcome. Let's get going. But yeah, for the 4 that are left, we're just like, come on, girls. Like, really? Is this what it's come to? They should have calved ages ago. Ages and ages ago. Okay, we'll build up some nice colour here. And along the seams, I do want to have a little bit of this terracotta, so almost as if it's like starting to rust a wee bit. And I'm not too bothered about the sort of graphite lines that I've got left here. Again, that's something that we'll tidy up in Photoshop, and it's not a problem. I know you don't think I would say that because, you know, Photoshop and I aren't really the best of friends, but still. Hello, Jackie. 10 a.m. in Florida. 90 Fahrenheit. That's fairly warm. Yep, okay. Lucky you. Yeah, thanks, Jan. Yes, I am trying to lose weight. I've steadily put on weight since I started the cave, actually. But this last year, I have I've put on a shocking amount of weight. And obviously last year I did not have the best year, and my weight tends to mirror my mental state, and the worse my mental state is, the heavier I become. And I just feel like I'm in a place now to deal with it and tackle it. But I have got a serious amount of weight to lose, and it's something that people don't always notice because fortunately or unfortunately I carry my weight well, but that's how you end up big and not realising it until it's too late. So yes, I have been trying. I've lost, I need to work this out now for y'all that are in kilos. Let's just do a quick calculation here. I can tell you my weight in kilos, but I can't convert between the two. That's too much brain work for this time of day. Yeah, so I've lost about 7 kilos, so that's 15 pounds or just over a stone. And it's coming off very slowly, but I kind of want that to happen too, because if you take it off slowly, you're more likely to keep it off. So just trying to get my eating habits back to normal. Eventually would like to get back running, but I've got a long way to go before I'm light enough to do that. I do have an old knackered knee injury, and if I go running above a certain weight, I'm almost guaranteed to blow my knee out, and I don't want that for myself. So that's kind of like my first goal, is getting back to running weight, because once I start running, it doesn't fix everything, but it makes it significantly easier to regulate what I'm eating, because when you've put a lot of work in on a run, you don't want to undo it, because obviously that you've gone through the sort of physical exertion, and I just find it generally much easier to regulate my weight when I am on a regular running schedule. But I need to make sure that I keep my knee safe, because the last thing I want is to end up doing myself an injury, literally. So yeah, Thanks for that. Jan only knows our weight loss in kilos. Well, the reason I know mine in kilos is because when we when we weigh the cows, the weigh scale is in kilos. Sometimes we have to calibrate it, so one of us steps on, to check it out. And because obviously I know what weight I am, it's like, right, get on the scales. But it's that because it's an odd conversion. I think it's like 2.4. It's not like 2.5, or so it makes it complicated. Ulrika says slow and steady is definitely best for weight loss. Yep, struggling with weight loss, his knees and shoulders are not working well. Yeah, well that's understandable for you. Hi Green Hat, nice to see you. Thanks for coming. April needs to lose £50. I've got a lot more than £50 to lose, a lot more. But yeah, there just comes a point for me where like I'm really fed up. There's a lot of things that are irritating me about carrying extra weight, and I don't want to do it anymore. And it's like just at a point where enough is enough, and also being quite short as well. Um, and like for the moment, you're not going to see £15 on me because I've got so much to lose. But when you've got a small frame like me, that first stone, the first £14 has made so much of a difference to me. It really has. I'm really excited about getting to the stage where my clothes start to feel loose though. And we've got a wee while to go before that happens. Right, so you can see what I've done here. I've got a sort of slightly grimy look going on, and that's what I want to sort of keep up. So we want to define the sections here. So let's get that terracotta going first. Good. And the darkest pencil I'm using here is just the dark indigo. Again, you'll know a lot of you that's like a go-to colour for me. And see, I'm going for like a slightly muddy version here, which is something we usually try and avoid when we're working in mixing colours, but this is what we actually want for a change. Now we want a little bit of maybe rust under the porthole as well here, so let's pop that in. I don't know if you can hear my wee birdies scratching away today. We've been very active at the window feeder here today. The ring feeder, I told you about that last week. I bought one with like a bird cage around it. It has stopped the crows, but it's gotten very busy because of that. There's lots of wee birds going. That's empty. So the ones that were going over to that feeder are coming to the. I think there's a bit of a disagreement going on out there. They're coming to this one, so it's been particularly busy today. The saying that we would use as one of the main shopping streets, well, it used to be one of the main shopping streets in Glasgow, is called Sauchiehall Street. And when something's really busy, you say it's like Sauchiehall Street on a Saturday. That's what it's like out there. Ulrika's aim is to go for 5% weight loss and recalculate from there. That's a good shout. It's good to have like a mini goal, I think. Exactly, Green Hat. That's it. People that don't have a weight problem or doctors, that's what they'll say. I'll just eat less and move more. And it's like if it was that easy, there'd be no overweight people. The chirpy birds. Yeah, Christine, that's right as well. Anytime you go to the doctor, like go to the doctor, my foot's hanging off, and they're like, "Have you tried losing weight?" And you're like, "Come on." Green hat can go in with a broken arm, exactly. That's so funny. Oh, goodness me. No, I've even found just from the get-go here that walking the dogs, because I'm out with the dogs every day, and I try and do the days where I'm not working my proper job, so Wednesday and Saturday and Sunday, I do try and take them out on a long walk. I'm kind of limited now because Jock's getting older. He can't. He used to be able to walk forever, and it didn't bother him. But he's kind of limited, like an hour and a half when we're out and about is about his limit now. But I do try and do that as long as it's cool enough for the dogs. I try and do that. But I'm still walking them every day, so I'm plenty active enough. I would like to be more how do I put it? I would like to be more active in that I would like to exert more energy because I quite enjoy sort of like aggressive exercise. I like running, I like spin classes. That was one that I used to do all the time when I was younger and fitter. And I do have a spin bike in the garage and I would really like to get back on that. So I'm planning to do that probably after next week. I'm really busy. Like I've got stuff stacked up this week and next week. But after that, I'm going to start doing, even if it's just 2 sessions a week out on the stationary bike and out in the garage. There's just like we do here, there's plenty of free YouTube videos that are, classes. So I'm going to do a little bit of that because I do get enjoyment out of, that really sort of like pushing yourself. That makes me tick. So that's kind of the next step. Right, I'm happy with this section for now. So I'm just going to continue on and go for it here. I've only got a little bit of pencil. I'm going to have to really work this. Get some of this dark cad in here. Hello, Tartan Tilly. I didn't see you come in. Welcome. Green Hat did a spin class once. It was one of the hottest days. Yeah, no, the very first spin class I went to, Green Hat, I threw up afterwards. Like, and I was fit at that point. I threw up in one of like the waste bins at the gym. That was an experience. It didn't stop me going back though. I was like, oh, that's great. The thing I find with doing really heavy exercise like that, even if it's just like short bursts, see when you get the endorphins afterwards, it makes you feel like a freaking superhero. And I love that feeling like, oh my God, that's the best feeling in the world. So that's enough to make me go back. Oh, Christine's on Monjaro. Yeah, that's it's like Ozempic, isn't it, Christine? That's like the same. Well, Ozempic's supposed to be for diabetics, but there's other ones that are the same, like they have the same mechanism, but they're designed for people to lose weight. Let's get some more of this light yellow in. Jan, when I had to have physio after knee surgery, I once got on a cross trainer instead of a stepper machine and nearly died. Please don't die, don't do that. Yeah, we there's a lot of chat of these weight loss drugs. I'm just reading Christine and Thea's sort of conversation here. There's a lot of chat about it in the UK, unless you have a lot of medical conditions, or things that compromise it. It's very hard to get it on prescription, so you'd have to pay for it. And I know that these drugs are not cheap. Oh, Manjaro is for diabetes too. Okay. Interesting, Christine. Thank you for the insight. Andrea does hot yoga. Oh, that's I like yoga, Andrea. I used to do a lot of yoga. Again, something I'd really like to get back to because I feel I've lost a lot of my flexibility. But hot yoga does not appeal to me at all. That would be a hard no from me. But I can imagine, the sort of pushing through. It's hard enough holding a pose, let alone sweating while you do it. Good grief. Green Hat enjoys cold water swimming. Oh, you're a certain kind of person, you. Again, that would be a hard no from me. I would rather throw up than go cold water swimming. Oh, Thea can't put weight on her right hand. Well, do you know what? It's funny because my hand issues that I have is more grip issues I've got, and I found that yoga actually helped with that the hand function thing because when you do yoga you're constantly stretching and strengthening all the muscles in your body and you do use all the muscles in your body. I was actually recommended yoga originally as part of strengthening for my knee that I have problems with. And basically, if you do it right, there's quite specific poses and things that help with it. But what it does is it strengthens the muscles around the side of the kneecap. So if you do yoga, it builds basically like a fortress and protects your knee for when you're running, which is obviously an impact sport. And the same can be said for hands as well. Especially your wrist strength. When you move your wrist like this, there's all these tendons over here and round here. And by doing, because yoga is very gentle movements, you're not trying to get into a position to the point where it hurts, and it's building it up gradually over time, and that's what strengthens your muscles. So, but there's loads of ways as well with yoga, and I'm sure there'll be agreement with this. There's modifiers for everything. You don't have to do the pose exactly how it is. There's ways that you can still get the stretch in the target area that's not going to put pressure on the rest of your body. Yoga is very inclusive. Like I recommend it, especially if you maybe can't. Somebody said there that they've got a bit of arthritis. It really is a great exercise to do, particularly if you're not mobile. And I know someone that where we used to live, they did chair yoga, and they used to do it with wheelchair users and also older people in like nursing homes that maybe weren't so mobile, and it's really, really good for them. So there you go. Yeah, Jan's saying that arthritic, so running is out, but walking, yep, absolutely. And walking is really good for you. It's underestimated a lot. I just don't enjoy it. Like, see, walking for me, I find walking a chore because when I take the dogs out, I'm doing it for them. I'm not doing it for myself. And I've always kind of had the attitude of why walk anywhere when you can run, because running's more fun. But it's definitely got the same benefits, because obviously anything that elevates your heart rate is going to be good for you. April, chair yoga is great for me. Yay! I tell you what, see chair yoga, when you do the side bends, I'll move back a wee bit here so that I can show you, but you do lots of exercises that strengthen these muscles that run up and down here. And see, once you kind of get into it a bit, some of those side bends, oh my God, you really feel them. Oh, it's very good. Oh, Rika's mentioning what's wrong with her, what she has. I didn't want to say anything, Rika, in case you didn't want to share that information. It's very interesting for those of you that don't know. Get yourself an education. Go to the website. It's not a pleasant condition to have at all. Jan, I walk at pace and have podcasts or talking books playing. Audiobooks, yes. And I get to see people walking dogs to get to, yeah, so you get to pet dogs along the way. Perfect. Jackie has balance issues. She has to stand away from others, or like it's like dominoes. Well, again, yoga's great for balance, helps you improve your balance. I've definitely lost flexibility, like there, because I used to do quite a lot of yoga. I can still touch my toes comfortably, but I used to be able to, without any sort of warm up or stretching, be able to put my palms flat on the floor, no problem. Can still touch the floor, palms not so much. But we'll get back to that. I'm just trying to do things gradually. I really just wanted to sort out my eating patterns first, because that's where the main issue lies for me. I've done a lot of psychological comfort eating, and just like not having the motivation to cook. Again, I do all the cooking for Mr. Jim and I was just shoving things in the oven. And normally I really like to cook if I've got someone else to cook for, and all of that just disappeared the last year or so. I'm kind of liking this little highlight I've got in here, but it's misplaced. So you can see I've almost got like a ring here. I need to do this up here, not down here. Because as we discussed, there might be light coming in from the top, but there'll be a wee bit of bounce light, but not enough to warrant that kind of highlight. So we'll just colour that in. That'll be fine. I feel like my pencil's looking a bit scrappy. Part of it is the paper in this sketchbook. But I'm going to smooth this out a little bit. I'm getting really distracted by the scrabbling that's coming from the feeder. Like, yeah, Mary's found that the best thing is calorie count mindful eating. Well, that's kind of my main focus is making sure that I'm in a calorie deficit. And for me, I've got quite a big appetite, so for me, eating like lower calorie dense foods allows me to eat bigger portions. Um, so I'm still satiated in the fact that I'm getting to eat a lot of food, but obviously with the lower calorie part of it, that's what helps. So yeah, staying in a calorie deficit. But again, I've always been the person I would rather go and run an extra 10 miles so that I can have a Jack Daniels and a pizza once a week. Like I've always been that person. Some people prefer to eat a lot less and not have to exercise. That's obviously a given that you have the ability to do that. I know that some of you don't. But I have always been that person. I would rather run hard so that I can have a beer. So tracking the calories is quite important, and again, being someone of quite a small build, although I've got a big bust, my actual frame isn't very big. Like when I'm at a normal weight, I'm a 28-inch across my back, for like a bra measurement. So I've got quite a small frame and I've got small hands as well. So it's quite important that I do that. But yeah, I'd rather go hard and go home. There'll be no going home here. That's for sure. Yeah, Thea's saying there's studies about exercise being the smallest part of your weight loss. It's more about the food and your mental physical health. The thing is though, with the exercise part, it might not be a huge part of losing weight, but it is linked to so many reductions in other health problems. Because you can be overweight and still have low blood pressure because you do a fair amount of cardio, that kind of thing. So I'm just trying to. It's all about balance. We know that. But for me specifically, I like being outside. I would never go and get a gym membership now. But I like to exercise and I've always enjoyed it and I want it to be part of, just my everyday life. And it has been for so long, but it's just been abandoned for the last maybe, 2 years with everything that's gone on. And I'm at the point now where I feel motivated, I feel quite fresh, and I'm ready to do the doing. Elise is asking, do I have any back issues? Only related to my bust. Yes, I have a sore back permanently because I have a big chest. And working with sheep for extended periods of time is just absolute torture. Absolute torture. Even being bent over, this is the example I always tell people. See, going out into the garden, which I do like 2 or 3 times a week, and picking dog poop up off the lawn. By the time I'm finished, and it's my lower back, it's not like across here, it's down at the bottom. It's to the point where it's almost paralyzing. Like if I move the wrong way, it's as if all my back muscles locking up. I'm like, oh my god. And I have to go and stretch it out or go for a bath or whatever. And that's everyday life for me. And that does not get better losing weight. That is something I'm stuck with because I've got huge boobs. But apart from that, I don't have any back injuries or any chronic backness. I'm trying to go really lightly here. I feel like I don't want to put too much of this in. This is looking fairly good so far. Ulrika's happy eating huge salads homegrown at the moment. It's a sea salad. Oh god. Okay, so you're okay salad so you can have cider. I like your thinking. It's my school of thought. Jan's saying a friend of hers has just had a breast reduction and she wished she'd done it much earlier. Well, I kind of feel that as well, but one of the things that obviously this is very personal. This might be too much information, but I feel it's important to talk about these things. Mr. Jem and I had the conversation about having children, and I wanted to wait to make sure we were either done having children or we weren't having any, because breastfeeding, and the phrase became babies before boobies. So now that we know that that's not happening, that's something that I am absolutely 100% pursuing. But I have to be at a healthy weight before I can do that. So that's all part and parcel of it. But that is 100% happening because when I say I have like a large chest, it's huge. It really is. I've never liked my boobs anyway. I've always been very self-conscious about having a big chest. Lots of unwanted attention as a teenager, bullied because of it, teased because of it, nightmare getting bras, shirts don't fit properly, like the whole shebang. And I know quite a few people that have had breast reductions, and no one I have met, like zero people have regretted it. So, but that's for much further down the line. Right now, I just want to get like another £15 off, so like what I've lost the same again, and that should allow me to get back running. And because one of the interesting things, even when I was much lighter, like when I first started the cave, I still wasn't within a healthy still wasn't within a healthy BMI, but I was quite trim, and even at that, the the whole BMI thing, well, that's just, I don't pay any attention to it anyway. But my boobs were still huge. Like it's just no getting away from it. But what I did find that was running regularly, it didn't, being slimmer and going running didn't make my boobs smaller, but they were neater, if that makes sense. And because when you run, you're using all the muscles round about, so it helps kind of like not suck them in. That's completely the wrong phrase, but they just, like, if you've got like everyone's got favorite bras, it's like they sit better in your bra, and it's because the muscles round about are supporting the skin and everything. And I quite liked that because it did make them look a wee bit smaller, but they weren't smaller. So that's just another kind of like, like side perk. But I can't I don't see myself going through the rest of my life and becoming an older woman with a bust the size that I've got, because it's unbearable. It really is. It's not good. And I sympathise with anyone else that's in the same predicament. It's not fun. You're very chatty today. This is a busy chat today. Jackie's looking forward to it when she gets to her goal weight. The weight of these sisters are tremendous. I know, tell me about it. I quite often say to Mr. Jem, I could just employ him to walk behind me and like hold them up while I walk about. Like I could employ a full-time boob holder upper, that would be nice. And just take some of the strain off my back and my neck and my shoulders. The toned boobies, yeah, I tell you. Well, Mary lost 5 stone in hospital and your boobs were the same size. Well, it's funny you should say that. I am like from my slimmest and fittest, I am nearly 5 stone heavier, and my back size has gone up 2 sizes, and my cup size has only gone up 1 cup in 5 stone. So yeah, I feel you on that one as well. What a nightmare! Like who invented boobs? Jeez. Aye, He wonders how much she's missing, how we got into the boobs conversation. Well, we started off by the fact that I'm freezing cold, and in the middle of summer here, I've got the heating on, but it's because I've dropped a wee bit of weight. So we were talking about losing weight, and then we got onto boobs. That's how we got here. Yeah, Thea's filling you in. What a conversation to walk into. If there's any guys in the chat, I'm really sorry. It's just kind of these natural. We always end up back at nipples and boobs, don't we? That and food. Oh, it's tickled me a wee bit though. But yeah, no, I'm feeling quite motivated. I'm feeling quite positive. One of the main things that I've noticed, just because I don't like to use the phrase eating cleaner because that implies that some foods are dirty. But I have noticed since I've started paying attention to what I eat and things that I'm sleeping a lot better. And I've always had sleep problems. And I like honestly, I am sleeping like a baby. And when I start running again, like you can knock me out and I'm all good. And I've really, really missed that. This like interrupted sleep patterns just it's like the worst thing for you. And that's improved even in the last like month or so since I've started looking after myself a bit better. And I'm loving it. Mr. Jem's kind of taking the huff though, because he's one of these people like you could literally like set a fire alarm off next to his ear when he's sleeping and he wouldn't wake up. And I've always been the light sleeper, and the last month or so has been absolutely amazing. Like I'm like, oh, so good. It's so nice to wake up and feel refreshed and energized, and I haven't felt that in such a long time. And I've also noticed that my skin's better as well. My skin was not great for quite a while there, but it's just a lot fresher and it looks a lot less grey, if that makes sense. Like I've got a bit of colour about me and like my skin feels plumper as well. But again, I'm drinking a lot of water. We're still on the McBee. This is the Scottish water. So today this is cranberry and raspberry. I did have a dinky bottle. There's a 500 ml bottle. This is like a litre and a half. So I've already had a 500 ml and it was lemon and lime, but it's sugar free. And this is my kind of like go-to. The only reason I've got tea is because I'm absolutely freezing. Maybe unfeasibly large balls should be next chat to of the boys. Let's talk about scrotums. No, let's not. Oh, that's hilarious. Talking about testicles. Oh, Jackie, I'm sorry. I didn't even know that you wouldn't know. Okay, so what we're doing, this is the Cluckmarine, Jackie. So it's a combination of a chicken and a submarine. So this part here that we're doing is the bottom half of the submarine. I'm sorry you weren't aware of that. You should have said sooner. We'd have talked about it. Ulrika's got cute birds outside. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. Ah, she sees it now. Okay, it'll probably make more sense, Jackie, when I get a little bit further up. That's funny. I was telling my my grocery delivery that I get delivered. I do my shopping online because I hate people. I hate supermarkets, and obviously stay rural. So you kind of get to know your delivery drivers, and there's one chap that comes. And he's quite a young guy. I would say he's maybe mid-20s, and he's very, very nice, and he loves the dogs. He always throws a ball for Pip. And it was him that came today. And I ended up like I didn't realise the time earlier, and I was trying to do like three things at once. And normally I'm organised and totally ready, and I just wasn't. So I opened the door and I had a paintbrush in one hand and I had a pen in the other. And I was like, I'm really sorry, I'm not ready. And he's like, ooh, what are you drawing? So I was telling him about the Clockmarine and the conversations about nipples between Gloria the Mermoo and obviously Aquapig as well. And he was very tickled by that and he liked that very much. So he started talking about his hobbies as well, and he's quite a like a cool young dude. I know that's like a cliche, but he seems like quite sort of trendy. And one of his hobbies is restoring old cars. So he buys like old frames and chassis of classic cars and does them up, from scratch in his garage. But he said over the winter he got into Warhammer figures and he's been really, really into that. So we were talking about paints and paintbrushes and stuff, and it was a really nice conversation actually. And he said that he didn't tell all his like other young trendy friends at the garage that that's one of his other hobbies because apparently it's a geeky hobby. And I was like, do you know what? Good for you. You have a geeky hobby. Never mind your friends at the garage. It's funny. Really nice chap. Okay, I feel like we're getting somewhere now. Who came up with the other two aqua animals? Do you know that the Warhammer thing? I think that's something I should really, really steer clear of. Like, that would be bad for me. It's bad enough with the Lego and all the art supplies. Like, let's not add any more fuel to the fire. I think though, I know that the figures are quite small, and I think that would be really hard on my hand a lot of the time. So it's probably best if I stay. Yeah. So anyway, back to the previous statement from Thea. Who came up with the other aqua animals? Honestly, I can't remember. It was like a collective effort for Gloria the Mermoo. Like I remember, and well, Aqua Pig was, that was a team effort too. But that was kind of the whole point of this, doing it on the stream. There's no point in having a live stream if it's not somewhat interactive or requiring some participation from the audience. You're not getting me lost in painting Warhammer figurines. That's not happening. Just to let you know, for those of you that aren't on YouTube Premium, you're going to get an ad in about a minute. So make sure we don't have any really important chat for them. Right, I'm moving on to this top section, so I'm going to pay more attention to the highlights here. So there's going to be a lot more of the paler areas. I kind of want to take away some more of this graphite here. Better grab my needed eraser. Yeah, that's better. I still kind of want and need a line a little bit, but just. Hello, Angela. We're on the good old polychromos. We've got a couple of the yellows. We've got the dark and the normal cadmium yellow. We're also using a little bit of terracotta and my personal favourite, the dark indigo, and that's all we've used on the bottom half of the submarine. Yeah, someone commented, I don't know whether it was on Facebook or YouTube earlier, but when I'd posted about going live, someone had made suggestions for the final Aqua Buddy. We'll talk about that at the end of the stream though. I don't want to get kind of like mired in that just now. But yeah, we will need to decide on what the final one is going to be. The other thing, yeah, that I was talking about, or was going to talk about, should I say, is the reason I've been busy is there's going to be a video tomorrow. It'll probably be tea time rather than the normal 9 o'clock slot. But I have an unboxing video for you tomorrow. We had an overwhelming response to the Ink House video to make it into a series, so that's going to start on Sunday. But I'm going to have them in quite quick succession, at least the first couple anyway. So it is likely that not only will you've got the video on Thursday tomorrow, we'll have a video on Sunday, but there'll probably be one on Tuesday as well. I am in the midst of other things as well. Let's say I've got a lot going on. And I still have another subscription box from May sitting there that we need to do as well. But I did say with the Ink House videos, I want them to go out in fairly quick succession. I don't want it to go on like one video for 8 weeks because no one wants that, let's face it. So you've got that to look forward to. So I'm doing a lot of filming, a lot of editing in between all the other things. But yeah, it's going to be quite a busy week this week for the cave. Thea and I have some ideas. This is for the last Aqua Buddy. Be a very afraid, Jim. I'm not scared. I think we've managed pretty well up till now. Nothing's going to put me off balance now. Okay. I was looking to see where Jock's gone. He's disappeared. Normally, I've always got Jock with me. Oh, he's down here. He's down here. You okay? He's been a bit funny the last couple of days. I don't know what's wrong with him, but I'm honestly just putting it down to him getting old. Terry's so happy about the Ink Tense videos. Do you know what? I'm glad, and I've really enjoyed it. I have finished, and do you know what? I'll show you. Seeing as it's like a little select group here, all 24 of you. I did finish the rest of the stained glass part on the other side. I've just got the shadows to put in, and then I'm ready to film the next section. But you can see Julia's paints have come up nicely. There's just a little bit of sheen there, but it's not too much to like take away from it. So I'm almost ready to go to film the next part, which I'll probably do maybe tomorrow afternoon, that kind of thing. Hi, Kimball. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming in. Yeah. You're tickled by the comments so far. Oh, were you here for the boob chat? Did you? For those of you that don't know, Kimball is of the not female variety. may have different body parts. Oh, that's funny. Ooh, lovely. Thea tried the ink tense again, and well, it looks horrible. Why does it look horrible? Oh no. Oh, Kimball, you came in right at that moment. I'm terribly sorry about that. It wasn't a forced conversation. It was a natural progression from. This is the second time I've said this today now. I was talking about the fact that I've got a jumper on and I've actually got the heating on in the house in the middle of June because I am freezing. I've started to lose a little bit of weight. So we went from that to aches and pains to talking about boobs and then to testicles. All the highbrow chat we have here at the cave, it's amazing. Don't be scared of the ink tens, you guys. Why are you scared of ink tens pencils? They're awesome. They're the freaking beans. I have to say, like, I really enjoy the ink tens pencils, but I do prefer the Graphitint ones. But I think that's just because I like to draw in graphite pencil, and I like the subtleness of the colour. I think I can kind of understand the trepidation with the ink tents because if you lay a lot of the pencil down and then activate it, it's like whoo, and it comes up and like punches you in the face, colour wise. So I kind of get that, but it's honestly it's not like it's such a pleasurable experience using them, and sometimes it gives you some little surprises, but that I think that's half the fun. The only thing that you do have to get good at fairly quickly is learning to work quickly with them once you activate them. And I always make sure I mention it because for anybody that's maybe new to them, I think that's the thing that screws people up quite a lot of the time. Like you really have to get a move on so that the colour like lies the way you want it to lie before it starts to soak into the paper. Tart and Tilly, we don't discriminate, we discuss all lumps and bumps. Yes, we do. Angela's tentatively trying watercolour pencils, draw a lot of flowers. And do you know, watercolour pencils is not something that I use very often, but I would say that if you're going for flora, that's probably the best use of them that I can think of. I'm kind of just in this place where I'm basically like pencils or paint or nothing. I'm getting set in my ways in my old age. For those of you that spied the easel, can you see that we've actually got paint on the easel? I don't know how obvious that is from here, but I do have clouds and a sky on the canvas now. Again, probably not going to have the chance to work on that very much over the next like week and a half, but after that I should have a bit more time. That's another thing. Just when we're talking about back pain and stuff and losing a bit of weight, I do find it quite taxing to stand at an easel for a long time on my back. Um, to be fair, that didn't take me very long, but I did do like full two coats of white on top of the gesso that was already done, and then spent maybe 40 minutes doing the sky and the clouds. and my back wasn't too bad after that. Normally I would be like crippled by that point. So even though it's only a tiny bit of weight loss in the scheme of things, that's the kind of thing, although I can't see it in myself, I can feel it with stuff like that. So that's a really like positive like side bonus that's happened. Given that I haven't, and I'm sure I mentioned this before, but I haven't stood at an easel since we moved from the old place, and that's been nearly a year. So that was a pleasant surprise and a pleasant discovery the other day. Shh, out there. Right, I have a question for Miri and Ulrika. If you're not comfortable answering it, please don't. But as people who are impaired in terms of standing, how do you find, like, see if you were to sit on like a slightly raised stool that had a back on it, would you be able to sit at an easel and paint? Or would that be too painful, or would you not be able to manage it? And I'm asking purely out of curiosity, and no other reason, because I have contemplated using like a bar stool to sit. But the problem that I find with that, again, I'll turn slightly to the side to give you a demonstration. But if you're sitting at an easel on a stool, you have to sit slightly forward, and obviously all my weight is here, so that gives me a sore back. So sitting down is actually worse than standing up for me. And I'm not comparing, obviously, but I'm just curious as to whether that's something you've tried, or it's just a flat no or whatever. Um, I think it's really important as well. Like, I don't want to seem like these are intrusive questions, but when people are dealing with something that I don't know anything about, I don't like to be ignorant about these situations. I like to find things out and kind of like understand a little bit better. Okay, Tart and Tilly, thanks for popping in. It was nice to see you. Well, hopefully we'll see you again soon. Miri's got a perching stool for the kitchen. I need boob holders. Yeah, that's what's wrong. I don't need like stools or anything to paint it an easel. I just need a set of boob holders. Told you I need Mr. Jem just to stand behind me. Everything would be fine. Mary uses her wheelchair at her desk. Oh, okay. Ulrika's saying that pressure through the knee is not so good. Kneeling before the easel. No, you'd have to stand. I'm talking about standing up. I'm not talking about sitting down. Mary, when she paints, she just sits in a normal dining chair, sits sideways on rather than straight on. That's interesting. I have to say though, I've got a tabletop easel, one of the fold out ones, because this chair has been so good for me, so good for me, and I can sit at the desktop easel for far longer stretches than I can stand at this easel here. Um, but because interestingly, when I decided I was doing this canvas, the first thing I did was unfold the desktop easel to see if the canvas would fit on it, and it didn't. And I was like, oh damn! I was like, okay, we're going to go and stand it up. But yeah, that I found that to be a big help. I mean, I have to take regular breaks anyway because of my hand, but that tends to be more with pencils and things. When I'm painting, because I tend to paint more from the elbow or the shoulder, and my grip generally is much looser, and it doesn't involve as much like fine motor function in your fingers, which is more of my problem rather than my hand part. So it's actually kind of better in that sense. I just wish my back would hold up to it for a bit longer. Maybe if I get some new boobs, I'll be able to stand at an easel forever. I'm trying to go easy with this terracotta here. Okay, Mary's got a table easel. Yes. Big shout out for the table easel. Lou Blue Moo. That's a mouthful. I can adjust this one down to like a sitting height, like the legs are adjustable. But sitting in a chair is the same thing for me. If I sit in like a dining chair or a chair like this, you still have to lean forward, and it's the leaning forward that's the problem for me. I really like this dark cadmium yellow. It's quite what I call an effective colour. Might not be my favourite colour, but you can add it to stuff and it does a good job. Right, I think just for experiment's sake, obviously not just now, but I'm gonna lower the legs in my easel and I'll show you some pictures of it at various heights. A problem with coccyx as well. Again, not the same thing, but I understand that pain. I got kicked in the coccyx at one point. I literally got kicked in the ass. I was bent over doing something, and one of the cows kicked me. That was years ago, years and years ago, before Mr. Jem and I got together. And I actually thought I'd broken my tailbone. The pain was immense. Anyway, I went and got x-rayed and all the bits and pieces, and it turned out it was just really, really badly bruised. And I had problems with that. Like, if I sat, like, if you go to sit down in a chair, see if I sat down in quite an upright position, it would catch me every time, and I felt as if someone was punching me in the tailbone. And that went on for about 18 months. So, totally appreciate that pain. Oh my dear word. Needless to say, that cow and I, we weren't really friends after that. It's like, I'm not talking to you anymore. Don't you kick me again. Oh, goodness me. I picked up the wrong pencil. Oh, no. Yeah, I have. That's the Indian 3. I thought that looks really blue. It's the wrong freaking pencil, Jem. I'm not this is so patchy here. I'm not getting on very well with this part at all. Just need to get some more of my cad yellow down, make it, and kind of like blend all this together a little bit. I mean, I do like the texture of the pencil to be left, but even I've got standards, I've got limits for that. Yeah, affects sitting, standing, and lying down. Well, the other thing I found was, see, when I'm standing upright, if I shifted my weight from one leg to the other, so it tilts your hips, and that sent a searing pain right up my back. Oh, it was awful, like it really was. I sympathise so much with that. Angela's asking if all the calves have arrived. We've got 4 left, Angela. The girls that were left in the shed, there was 5, and they were put out in this paddock just behind our garden, which is just out the cave window there. And one of them literally had her baby like 2.5, 3 hours ago. So we're still waiting on 4, but at least I can wag a finger at them over the fence and be like, come on now, hurry up. But we're hoping putting them out, obviously when they're out, they're natural grazers, so they're moving about more as they, go from patches of grass to patches of grass. So we're hoping that kind of jiggles things up. The other thing as well is if you've got a group like that, if one calves, sometimes it seems to give the other ones ideas and then they follow suit. So we're hoping that today might be the start of the end, if you know what I mean, because this is ridiculous now. Say we're at the 5th of June and we've still got 4 cows. Like they should all have been done by the end of May. We're like, goodness me. But again, you have to remember we weren't here when they were out with the bull, so we don't actually know when and how long they were in with the bull, etc. So we just have to take it as it comes this year. But it's getting out of hand. We're like, come on, it's the summertime. All the cows are out. Well, there's very deep conversations going on here about positions and serious injuries and things. Oh, it'll be fine, Angela. We're old hands at this. This is not our first rodeo. We're just kind of getting a bit fed up with it now. It's like, oh come on. The good thing is though, if they're out here, I can have eyes on them all day. Normally, when I'm working, obviously I don't have the blind down, and that was what happened today. One of the cows had separated herself from the other 4, and she was kind of like swaying about a bit, but she had her tail up, and obviously they put their tail up to have a peer of poop. But she didn't put it back down again. And the fact that she'd walked away from the herd, I phoned Mr. Jem and I was like, don't panic, not important, but just to let you know, this is what I think's happening. So maybe check on her in an hour or so because I might be busy. And by the time Mr. Jem came back, she was already licking her calf and everything was wonderful. But see, Mr. Jem says it's a really, really pretty calf, so we'll have to go out and try and get a photo. Okay, that yeah, that's better, a bit happier. So I kind of want to mirror image. Well, no, I don't. I've got most of the light coming from this direction. I think I might just try and have a little highlight here, like just a weeny little one. We'll see how that goes. Thea, by the way, Jem, it's crazy. It's almost a year since. I know, I know. I was actually saying that the lady that works in the post, well, say she owns the post office, the lovely Wilda. Wilda is the youngest, most well turned out pensioner I have ever met in my life. Our post office is basically like a combination of a newspaper shop, a gift shop, and a post office, and it opens at 5:30 in the morning. Obviously, rural area, so warrants being open at that time. The post office part opens at 7 o'clock. When I go down, Wilda is always extremely well dressed, well put together, coordinated outfits, makeup, and accessories. Like, she's the most put together person. I'm an early riser, and she absolutely puts me to shame. But when I was down talking to her today, when I was taking down some shop orders, our husband was there as well, and he delivers the papers in the morning, to like the people in the village. And they'd kind of like, it was quiet, so we had a little bit of a chat. And that's what I was saying to them, that's it's almost a year, and I feel as if we've been here for 2 minutes. Like I still feel like a newcomer, which we are, I suppose. But I don't feel that I know my way around particularly well, or I don't know all the sort of ins and outs and where all the good stuff is. I rely on Wilda for a lot of things. Like Wilda's like my oracle. I'm like, Wilda, I need such and such. Where do I go for that? And she'll be like, oh well, if you go into town, there's this shop. And I'm like, thanks. I knew you would know the answer. Or like the day I was going to Edinburgh to meet Glenn's mum, to pick up his ashes and talk about stuff, and it was absolutely pouring with rain, and I knew I had an umbrella in the house, but no idea where it is because we've still got stuff in cardboard boxes. And when I went down to the post office, I was like, Wilda, I'll have an umbrella. And I was like, Wilda, do you sell umbrellas? And she's like, well, I used to. I've got one left. Let me dig it out for you. And she brought out this tartan umbrella. I was like, yes, rely on Wilda. And funny. So you just have the shy, coy, hard to get ones left. Well, that's a possibility. It's a possibility, Jan. I kind of would rather refer to them as the ones that are a pain in the ass, but still. Yep, Jan's right, Patty. It's almost the same term as humans, believe it or not. Cows' gestational periods are 9 months and 3 weeks. And also the same in humans, that's not guaranteed. Sometimes they're a wee bit early, sometimes they're really late. It makes for easy counting though, because you're used to doing it for humans. Oh, we're talking about iatrogenesis, is that how you pronounce it? I have heard this before. Um, it's all complicated conversations going on here. Yeah, Mr. Gem's going to be just following on from the cow conversation. We're kind of changing out the genetics in the herd. I make that sound like it's like swapping a t-shirt. It takes time, but we're going to switch out some of the bulls that we've got. Mr. Gem is not happy with the genetic variety. Like there's almost too much variety, and we want to narrow the breeds that we've got down a bit so that at least we'll have half an idea of what's going to pop out. So next weekend, now wait a minute, let me get this right. Yeah, next weekend, Mama Gem's birthday next weekend, guys. Mama Gem's coming to visit, but Mr. Gem is going to visit his family. His parents stay in the south of Ireland, but they're coming over to Scotland, where most of Mr. Gem's siblings are now, bar one. Um, So he's going to go down and stay with family and see his dad for Father's Day, which is really nice. So while he's down there, I keep going to pick up that pencil. He, on his way back, he's going to visit a gentleman about a new bull and see if we can switch out some of our bulls a little bit. So that's quite exciting. I'm excited for that. It is really nice though, like I'm really enjoying it because at the old place it was all Aberdeen Angus we had. So we had a small red Angus herd, which is obviously, well, I say obviously, some of you might not know that. Ginger is a recessive gene and the dark coat is the prominent gene. So the chances of you chucking out a red cow from two black parents is very very slim, but over the generations sometimes it prevails. It's a bit like the left-handed gene and all these things. So we had a small herd of pedigree red Anguses, but obviously we were breeding reds to reds, so you knew you would get a red calf. And in the rest of the Angus herd, and Aberdeen Angus are always black, it was only like once in a blue moon that you would get a ginger one instead of a black one. Whereas here, it's like Christmas. It's like, I wonder what's going to pop out this time, and you just never know because there's like 4 breeds of bulls here that were used last year before we came. Um, so it's actually really nice because when you go into the shed or if you look out into the field, there's all these different like hairdos, and some have got horns and some have got like a patchy coat and some are brindled and some are just all one colour. And I've really, really enjoyed that. That's been a really nice thing about it. But it's just a bit too diverse. We need to kind of rein it in a little bit. So the search for the bulls will start. Some of our breeding bulls will go on to other places, and there's one or two that are kind of past their best, so they'll probably go for burgers. But yeah, that's something else. There's so much going on. There's so much to change, but this is what happens when you go somewhere new. You've got to get everything just right in the way you want it. And Mr. Jem and I are a really good team. Obviously, Mr. Jem has lots and lots of years of experience of actually working with cattle, and I have my scientific background, so for things like genetics, which was a huge part of my degree, believe it or not. And I'm very interested in that aspect because I find it fascinating about dominant and recessive genes and all that kind of stuff. So we make a pretty good team for stuff like that. But these things, you make changes and it's a little while before you see the fruits of your labour, so to speak. Happy birthday to Mama Jem. Oh, right. Mary's just asked if we ever show the animals. Oh, right, okay. There's 2 types of people in this world. There are people who breed their animals and look after them and love them and sell them for food. And there are people that fart about with them and show them. We are not the people that show them. I think there's a reason that we bred livestock, domesticated livestock, and showing them isn't one of them. Um, when you go to these shows, they're very lovely to look at and all the rest of it, but it's just not. It's a lot of faffing about, and it's really not for like. It's just not our thing at all. The fact that they have hair dryers on them and they pressure wash them and they're brushing their hair, and I know that's just my point of view, but no, we absolutely do not show animals, and it's not something I'm interested in either. It's a bit like just stemming back to the genetics thing. The problem with these types of things, and it isn't, it isn't a problem, so to speak, but what happens is purebred eventually becomes too well bred. And if you look at dog breeds, like a Sharpei is a perfect example, the disease hard that actually started to cause problems. Exactly the same things happen in cattle. And years ago it was dairy cattle, and you can selectively breed. And by that, what we mean is you take animals from the same breed, so a dairy breed like a Holstein or Holstein, depending on where you live. And what you would do is you would selectively breed from the ones that had a high milk yield, because there was a point where, milk yield was king, that's what made you profit. And what happened was these Holstein cows were these great big tall leggy things, like taller, you know, like the same height as me, so like 5'3" at their back hip, and they're these great big rangy animals, and all their body energy was going into producing milk, so they were really skinny, you know, like big hip bones and everything. And what happened was they bred so hard for it that it started to knock the natural balance of things. And what happened with these heavily selected Holsteins was that they started having really bad problems with their feet and their hips and their gait, because they're carrying this huge bag. Obviously, if you're producing a lot of milk, back to big boobies again, but they're this huge bag to carry between their legs. And they ended up having to cull them out after like a couple of lactations because their frame couldn't support the bag underneath. So selective breeding is all very fair and well, and selective breeding is basically what showing is, and it doesn't matter what kind of animal it is. It's not as bad as it used to be because we've got a better understanding of it now, but it's just something that I'm a very firm believer in. Whatever you do, if you're going to tamper with nature, you have to do it within reason and you have to find a balance, because if you don't find a balance, Mother Nature will do it for you. So that's kind of why I'm not into showing animals. It's nice to see them all poofy and clean, to see what they look like without poop scattered up their backs and everything. You know, like we'll go to the Highland Show or whatever and look at them, and there's some very majestic animals, but it's just not something that we're into. And Nye says she loves that she feels like she understands a lot more about your farm tales after you watched Clarkson's Farm. Yay! And Nye's into genetics as well. And Nye has an interest in that through her occupation as well. Uh, Terry's pa had a purebred Hereford herd. Well, it's funny because Mr. Jem actually wants a Hereford bull, Terry, so there you go. We're going to be looking for a Hereford. Mary says ours is a proper agricultural show, not a fancy ass one. The Great Yorkshire Show is a fancy ass show. Sorry to burst your bubble there. It's one of the biggest agricultural shows there are. Yeah, Mary's saying she remembers writing about that, and she's talking about the breeding of the Holsteins when she was a journalist, how there were problems with the Holstein breed and lots of farmers were pulling in new breeds to rescue the herds. Yeah, so that's called hybrid vigour, when you introduce a separate set of genetics and breed it with something that is very finely bred. You're introducing different genetics, which can rescue indeed. But again, it takes like maybe 3 generations before you actually see improvements in whatever it is. And in that case, it was the stability of the leg and the feet and the hips of the Holsteins. Mary, I know it's not that kind of a show, smiley face. Yeah, okay, whatever. Ah. It's an agricultural show where the local farmer brings his best animal, not bred for showing. Most of the big shows are like that though, but they kind of like they're straddling that line, Mary. To be fair, it's not like the Highland Show. The Highland Show is probably one of the biggest. And I would just like to point out I will be going to the Highland Show with free tickets. We haven't been to agricultural shows in years because we haven't had time, and it's finding someone that'll look after the dogs, because we normally like to go overnight because we like to have a tipple. But we are literally like half an hour from the showground here on a good day, maybe not in like Highland Show traffic. But I'm quite excited to go this year. We're just going to go for the day, but that should be pretty good fun. It's been such a long time. But I mean, if you want to go around the whole Highland Show, you need 2 days if you want to see absolutely everything, not just like the farmery cow stuff. Elise is asking, would I consider having a Q&A night with Papa Jem when he comes? Do you know, see over the whole 6 years of the cave, we have tried to persuade Papa Jem into participating a little bit more because I know you all really love him. Um, he's quite shy and he's very reluctant with things like that. And I think part of it is he's kind of frightened that he says something inappropriate or it offends someone. Because Papa Jem, he takes a great interest, like he really enjoys talking to people and learning about people. And there's a lot of similarities between him and I, but sometimes he can be quite intrusive without realising it, and I think he doesn't want to get me cancelled. But also as well, there's like a privacy thing to it. I'm comfortable where I am in terms of what I share with you guys and what you see. You know, I'm quite well versed at it now, and you know that there's aspects of my personal life that I do like to keep personal. So I kind of have to respect Papa Jem's boundaries. But if he agreed to it, I would totally be up for it because it would be hilarious. It would be really, really funny. Papa Jem is a very funny individual, but I don't know whether I think that just because we both got the same sense of humour. Who knows? Mary says she's talking about the show again. There's like categories like fluffiest chicken and garden in a jam jar. That sounds fun. I like that. It's got some really quirky categories. Elise is also asking if I'm going to go to Sweden to visit Julia again. I am trying to get to Sweden like so hard. You guys have got no idea. I'm sure some of you know that Julia's she's not been keeping too well. She was supposed to come over in the springtime and she just wasn't able to. So I said to her, you know, I'll try and get to you. But things are a bit mental. So I am trying my hardest and I have been assured that I am more than welcome anytime. But I've got a few financial restraints as well. Pip needs to go for an operation. She's got like a growth on the inside of her leg, and it is not cheap to get stuff like that fixed anymore. We also need a new mattress for our bed. It's we're just talking about sore backs. Mr. Jem and I have both noticed that we're really stiff in the morning, but it's about that time to change our mattress. And we have a Super King, so that's like the biggest bed you can get in the UK. I don't know how that relates to like US and Canadian bed sizes, but it's a big freaking bed. And those mattresses are four figures. And we're also about to change the truck out as well, or pick like our personal pickup. So things like going to Sweden might have to go in the back burner for a couple of months. But we will get there, and we've already talked about it. The next time I go to Sweden, Julia and I are going to set aside time to make a video together, like as in the two of us in front of the camera. So that'll probably be a lot of shenanigans as well. So you can look forward to that at some point, but I can't put a time scale on it right now because I don't know when it's going to happen. The main thing that's kind of holding me back personally just now is my friend Glyn. His memorial gig is the first week in July, and there's a lot of preparation and stuff going into it. And mentally, I can't get past it. Like I'm prepared for it and I'm ready to go, but I just can't really see what's going on after that because I need to go and deal with it and be able to cope with it and then know that I'm all right, if that makes sense. Like it's a bit of a mental load at the moment, is I suppose what I'm trying to say. But I think after that I'll have a bit more room for trips to Sweden and thinking about other stuff too. Mattresses are expensive. Oh, we know. Oh, we know. Mattresses are super expensive. I found out as well, the pillow again, neck and shoulder issues from the aforementioned rack. Um, Pillows make a huge difference to me, and lo and behold, a really expensive pillow is the one that I do best with. There's a surprise. So that we actually the pillow that I sleep with is the one we got free with the mattress when we bought the one we've got originally, and the pillow itself was retailing at £120. So that's like €135 or something like that, and maybe like 180 or $90 US. Ridiculous for a pillow, but It's nearly 8 years old and it's kept its shape and it stops me getting a really stiff neck and shoulders, so I don't care. I said to Mr. Jem, 100% buy another one of those pillows. Happen. Right, okay, we have a body of a submarine. How exciting. So we've got the little propeller part here. We're not going to get this finished. It's 4:20. No way I'm going to get it finished today. Good grief. These birds out here, they sound as if they're building themselves a new feeder. It sounds like nuts and bolts noises. Good grief. It is a lot of pennies for a pillow, isn't it, Ulrika? It really, really is. It's totally worth it though, and I wouldn't change it. I see, that's just the pillow. That's nothing to do with the freaking mattress. Mr. Jem and I went and looked at pickups at the weekend. And we went to Edinburgh. Obviously, more populated area, more pickups. But you don't want to go into the city centre dealerships because they, unsurprisingly, don't have a lot of pickups. You need the ones on the outskirts. And we went to one dealership and we're only looking at like 2 different makes and models. And they had, it's a Toyota Hilux. I'm sure loads of you will know what one of those is. The Toyota Hilux is kind of like the Rolls Royce of pickups. They're very expensive compared to their other make counterparts, but they're pretty indestructible. And we went to one dealership and there was only one sitting on the forecourt, and it happened to be an almost brand new one with like all the kind of like rugged body kit on it. And it was a used vehicle, but it only had 7,000 miles on the clock, which most of you will know is nothing for a car. For a pickup, it is basically zero. So it was an exorbitant amount of money. And I said to Mr. Jem, I'm pretty sure they heard that we were coming and did that deliberately, because I sat in it and went, oh, I want this one. And then we saw the price ticket on it and we were like, okay, maybe not. We just no. So I don't know how that's going to go, honestly, but the ratio of the likelihood of getting a Hilux before that visit was about 25%. It's now at like 75%. Mr. Jem's like, we're not getting a new mattress or going on holiday this year if you want to buy one of them. I'm like, God, you're such a tight farmer. The truth is, though, most of the time, obviously, I work from home. The truck isn't getting used a lot, but the problem is that when we do need to go somewhere, it's usually long distance and we need space to chuck the dogs in the back. More specifically, somewhere where Pip can throw up and it's not in the main part of the vehicle. So, it's important for us to still have a pickup, but the Hiluxes, they're mighty expensive. We absolutely would not get a brand new one because we couldn't justify it, because you've got to pay VAT on them as well because they're a commercial vehicle, and it's literally just throwing money away. So the search continues, but I really, really want one. Mary used to be a side front sleeper, but you can't do that now because of lymphedema. That's interesting. I am a side and front sleeper also. The front sleeping isn't so good with the boobs. Back to the boobs. But yes, we do that on occasions. How's that looking? I feel like the yellow looks really offensive on the camera here. I need to take away some more of this graphite up here because that's going to end up pretty dirty. Get my lightest yellow on the go again. Fingers crossed for the truck fairy. I need more than a truck fairy, Mary. Ah. The yellow submarine. Where on the yellow submarine? The only sticking point with the truck thing on things like that, and the only sticking point is that Right, Mr. Jem has a work truck. He has an Isuzu D-Max, and he hates it with the fire of 1,000 suns. That's the bottom line. It's a fairly new vehicle. It's a 2021, and it's got very low mileage on it, and he's just had loads of problems with it. So he said he's like, we're not getting one of them. But that truck is a manual transmission, which in the UK is very common. Our truck, which is a Nissan Navara, is an automatic transmission. And Mr. Jem's work truck in his previous job was also an automatic transmission. And he really likes an automatic. I am indifferent. I will take either or. But Mr. Jem is adamant that when we get our own new personal truck that he wants it to be an automatic. And I keep saying to him, I don't know why you're so bothered about it because you hardly ever drive it. It's me that drives it. And I couldn't give a flying monkeys whether it's a manual or an automatic because I quite often, like jump into his truck and drive his truck. And I spent more years driving manual transmission cars than I have driving automatics. So it's just not a thing. And he's making it into a thing. And what it's doing is narrowing down the pool of choice. And I'm saying to him, you can't be that fussy. It's like, if you want to be that fussy, you have to buy something brand new, which we've agreed we're not prepared to spend the money on. So zip it and get on with it. But he's not having any of it. So that's the only bone of contention. And the fact that he's a tight farmer and he doesn't want to spend any money. But it's okay, I compensate for that. Fix it. It'll be fine. If you get a hybrid or an electric, then it will be an automatic. Either that or a semi-automatic, Jan. Most of them have both options now, don't they? But yeah, manual transmissions are still fairly common. It's quite interesting. Mama and Papa Jem have got what's their car called? They've got an electric car. Come on, Jem. A Volkswagen ID3, I want to say, the little one. They've got one of those, and they have like a love-hate relationship with it. But the automatic and electric pickup situation, we're not anywhere near ready to do that yet. But Mama and Papa Jem were saying is that having an electric car is great, but there's still a lot of teething problems. And if they had a choice now, they would probably go for a hybrid rather than a full electric car. One of the things that's happening with the electric cars is because, and I think it's mostly Teslas, but the batteries keep exploding and catching fire and stuff. And basically anyone that's got a full electric car, it's pushing their insurance up to like ridiculous proportions. And Mama and Papa Jem are actually quite worried about when their insurance renews because they think it might be, out with the realms of sensible. But they really like driving it. Like they love their electric car. But it seems like a lot of faff to me, honestly. I'm like, it seems like an awful lot. I'll just stick with my big dirty diesel pickup for now. Hello, Daria. When did you tiptoe in? I didn't see you come in. Manual transmission is tough to find here. And I'm really sorry. I'm going to have to go and see what's going on. The noise out here is ridiculous. I think there's some fighting going on. Are you okay down there? You noisy, noisy creatures. Just you behave out there, Mr. Chaffinch. This is like a management meeting out there. Righty McHoho, I'm glad we've got some submarine bottom parts done. That's looking not too shabby. I think I would like to continue upwards just for a moment. So I'm going to move up here. And again, I need to lighten some of this up. Jock just chucking himself about, Big sigh, there it is. Bye, April. I don't know. Yeah, I can see people say bye. Almost lunchtime. Okay, nice to see you, April. Thanks for popping in. Enjoy the rest of your day. Angela's going to swap hers for another hybrid. Yeah, the hybrids seem to be the better option for the moment. Lara, you should look at the footage for how they source those batteries for electric cars. Horrendous child labour and the loopholes they've gone through to push it. Yeah, I think they will close those loopholes eventually, but I can quite believe that. Daria's just back from playing golf. Well, there's a conversation going on about gastric bypasses. Kimball and Thea are talking about that. I didn't know you'd had a gastric bypass, Thea. I've spoken to so many people that had either not the sleeve surgery, the bypass surgery, and they ended up eventually putting on all the weight that they took off, and it was quite an invasive surgery. Elise has a charging station for electric cars down the street from work. Well, the thing is, at least like it depends on where you live here. Like where mum and dad stay, their public chargers are free, as in you do not pay to charge your electric car, and that generates a problem of it's really difficult to get one, and to charge them at home is very expensive. Our cost of living crisis, etc. There's not an ideal solution, but like I don't have time. Like mum's, she'll go into town and she'll dawdle about until she finds a free charger, because you can look on your app and it'll show you which ones are free, but by the time you get to it, like from when you've left your house to get into town, it might not be free. So mum will dawdle about until she finds one. She'll go into the supermarket and toddle about there, and then she'll go back to the car and sit with a book and have a coffee and sit in her car while the car charges. That's fine if you're Mama Gem and you're semi-retired. I don't have time for that kind of stuff. Like I really, really don't. So yeah, I think it very much depends on your circumstance, what you've got surrounding you, um, and also the cost of charging at home. So I think Mama and Papa Gem have changed to it's it's a different tariff they're on for their domestic electricity, but they can trickle charge the car overnight, and it's running at basically like the lowest rate per kilowatt hour, so it's cheap. But the downside to that is they've got to leave it charging all night, or else it won't have a full charge. And it just seems like an awful lot of hassle. Like for us, our pickup that we've got just now, not the one that we're getting, still falls in the acceptable emissions for the ULEZ or LEZ zones. Like so our emissions, even on our current pickup, which is quite old now, we're still about as eco-friendly as you can get for a pickup, let's face it. But we have petrol pumps here at the farm. So we've got one for agricultural use, which is what we call white diesel. So that's the stuff that goes in all the agricultural machinery. Sorry, red diesel, and then we've got white diesel, which is your car diesel. So we don't even have to go to a petrol station to fill up. We have a petrol pump at home, and we just log how many litres we've used, etc. Right, I want to add in some colours here, because we're now on to the Cluckmarine itself, the Cluck part of the Cluckmarine. So I'm just going to grab the ivory pencil, or maybe even cream. I think cream would be better. So this is also my second cream pencil, and I want like a darker brown, brown. I'm thinking walnut brown, like a cool brown. Spinny wheel. We'll be okay. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. If we disappeared for a wee minute, I hope you're all back. If people are still having problems, just refresh your screen. That should be okay. Spinny wheel. Yeah, there we go. Good. Everybody's back. One of the things that's not at all interesting but is happening just now is being rural, we run off mobile internet here, but we have strong receivers, and it's the commercial masts that we run off. We've been informed that there's some type of bird that's nested in one of the masts, and because they've got young, they can't move them, and it's one of the masts is down because of it, basically. So our receiverness isn't maybe as good as it should be. But we've been assured it's only temporary, and they're bringing in the Scottish equivalent of the RSPB to safely lift out these little dudes to safety, because the mast's down. So what I'm finding is generally the signal's not bad, but every now and then it just drops off a cliff for no reason, and you're like, "Hey, I was doing stuff." But generally, it's not been too bad. I can't complain. It's just mildly inconvenient, especially like, if I'm in like a Microsoft Teams meeting at work or something, and then all of a sudden I just disappear and everyone's like, "Hey, where did you go? Did we upset you? Are you offended?" But I'm hoping that'll be remedied fairly shortly. But that's not bad, because we've been here what, an hour and a half now, and that's the first time it's actually dropped off, so we'll not complain too much. Just gonna get a little bit more colour in here. It's exciting. Kimball said she thought I was trying to read a comment. Did I look as if I was really, really concentrating? Ah. Potato speed internet, where Lou Blue Moo lives. Me too, I call it hillbilly internet. Good old rural internet. But to be fair, I mean, it's served us quite well. We've done, since I've moved anyway, we've done quite well here, apart from the odd blip. So no, I am grateful. The birds are not interrupting the stream. The birds are the root of all evil for the moment. Not these birds, they're just noisy. Hello, it gets slower when it rains, another electric fence is turned on. Oh my god, I feel that so bad. It's like if the cloud cover comes in, you're like, ah, crap, I'm going to be running at like internet speeds from like 10 years ago. Ah, that's funny. Looks like I was really concentrating for about 30 seconds. That's a lot of concentration. Yeah, I'm going to take my last gulp of cold tea. I'm starting to dry up, especially because the heating's on. I need to start drinking my water. I don't get all croaky, but I can't leave the tea undone. I don't think I've really concentrated for 30 seconds in my entire life. It's absolutely like not a thing for me. I can't hold my concentration that long. Okay, so I would just want to talk a wee bit. I'm going to do this part here, which is going to match this part here. When we actually go into our chicken that's in the viewing bubble, I'm going to use the same colours, but I want to make them paler, and that's to give that impression that we're behind glass. I'll maybe put a little tiny bit of a blue tint over it, but I'll wait and see what it looks like first. Thea's finished her tea too, doesn't want to up and get some more. We'll see, you've got to come prepared. You've got to be prepared. But that's it. Oh, cold tea. I'm happy to announce that I am significantly warmer now than I was at the start of the stream. It may be because the heating's still on and the sun is shining through the window again, but I'm so glad. I've been miserable all day because I've been so cold. That's a really nice contrast to the tea because it's got cranberry in it. It's got a little bit of tang to it. I think once I'm finished the stream, I better go and fill the other bird feeder back up because it's chaos out there. I don't want them having to compete and fight. That's not fair. It's getting ridiculous. Right, let me just pop in a little bit here. Tweet, tweet. So just start with that terracotta. Now here, what I'll do, probably in the head of the chicken, I'm going to do down here, and I'm just going to put a wee layer of cream down. we'll work this in. One of the things I normally do at the end of doing pencil drawings, and I don't think I talk about this at any point in any of my videos, when I'm more or less done colouring, I basically go round where the line work is, and I make sure I've got enough contrast and depth so that things aren't blending into each other. So that, like, just for example, this area here, see where the edge of the submarine meets this ruffle, I will make sure that there's enough definition so that those two things aren't melting into each other. But that's like the very last, like the last step that I'll do. That's when you kind of sit back and squint at it and go, eh. God, both of my phones are going nuts as well. That, like, I normally don't have my my work phone turned on a Wednesday, but I needed to speak to a couple of people, so it's still on and it's been going off. My own mobile's going off. I haven't had a message from Julia today. That's normally the first thing that happens when I'm live streaming is I get a message from Julia. I have not had that today. I did speak to her yesterday though. But everything's going crazy today. I'm in demand, guys. Right, so we've got a little bit of cream there. That's nice. Ulrika says if the feeders in my garden get empty, there's a very helpful blue tit that shouts by my back door until I go and fill it up. Oh, that's funny. We nicknamed her Mia after a friend of ours. She's tiny, feisty, and loves snacks. Love it. There's like, they're actually like, I can hear them scrabbling about like they're scrapping. Fierce competition. Okay, so yeah. I'm just going to go over, I don't know how well you can see the difference between this part and this part, but the cream really makes a difference. It helps to kind of like bring everything together so it doesn't look disjointed. I was going to say separate, but that doesn't make any sense. I know what I mean. We'll do this. Okay. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I want to just shut... so I don't throw it away. Just want to sharpen up this this brown. I have given up hope on my new Tegal sharpener. It's definitely gone forever, so I've ordered another one because this one's quite blunt. It's given me not a bad point, but it's not as reliable as it used to be. I think over time with those Tegal sharpeners as well, this casing kind of like, because it's plastic, it kind of works itself loose, and that affects the whole mechanism, because the way it gets the points in different sizes is by squeezing in the hole. But yeah, it's that the one that I ordered is definitely, you know, it's definitely lost somewhere. I was kind of hoping, just talking about things getting lost, I was kind of hoping I might have my, what I'm now calling my Glyn bracelet, the one that I'm having made with his ashes. I was kind of hoping I would have it so I could show it to y'all, but it hasn't arrived yet. It's a bit early. They did say, like, they did give me time scales, and it's only at the start of the time scale right now. Maybe by the next time we stream I'll have it. I'll be able to show it to you all. Just want to add in. I'm kind of into like tweaking mode now here, and I really shouldn't be. Okay, for the tail propeller, I just want to get some colour down first, so I'm just going to go cream as the base colour. Oh, in there. We need a bird cam. I was actually, I've done a little like time lapse video. One of the ladies that I work with, Sarah, who's lovely, like Sarah's lovely. She has a lot of birds in her garden, and she has a robin that eats out of her hand, and she sent me pictures. It's so adorable. I'd set up my camera. It was one day I was talking to Julia, and I just set my phone up, and I couldn't put it too close because they don't like the reflection of the lenses. I think it's because they look like owl eyes. But I managed to get it at an angle, and I let it run for like 2 hours while Julia and I were having a conflab, and then like just cut down all the footage. I could put that up as like a wee video if you wanted, but it was extremely busy. Out of 2 hours, there was 18 full minutes of activity in those 2 hours. And I have to say that was weeks and weeks ago, and it's much busier out there now than it was. But in order to set up an extra camera, obviously we've already got two cameras running. We've got this one, we've got this one, and I've got the like the ability to put it to the wake screen, etc. I don't know if I want to overload things and complicate things with a third camera. Because I did at one point, especially when Pip was a bit younger, I did contemplate having like a puppy cam, just to, just to give you all a bit of extra interest. But I don't know, but maybe I could just take my face away. I could move this camera and just put it out by the window if you wanted. And you can watch the birds instead of me. I mean, especially like my head's down like this a lot of the time, so I don't suppose that would make. If that's something that you want, I will do it, guys. Like I will actually do it. 0 days since Jem threw a pencil by accident. Yeah. Hello, Cara Marina. It's nice to see you. How you doing? Jackie's got a ring with a small gem made with your mum's ashes. That's absolutely adorable. Yeah, the bracelet that I'm having made, Jackie, it's like a bangle, but it's hammered. And what they do is when they make it, they hammer the ashes into like the flat, like the flat part. So it gets its own patina. Um, and yeah, I just think that'd be really nice. And then I'm getting it engraved on the inside. Oh God, phones are going again. Shh, go away. That's the vet's telling me that Pip and Jock have got to go back to the vet for their next vaccination. I know this. You could use your company phone as the bird cam. No, 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 no. We have had so many security breaches. They'll definitely not be using my work phone for anything. I don't know how happy I am about these feathers. I feel as if like I need like a defining line. Maybe with the I don't want any more yellow either. I'm not I'm not sure how I'm gonna finish this off. I'm gonna leave that just now and come back to it. It's not to the detriment of your camera, but being able to see animals in the stream would be amazing. I would mute it as well so you wouldn't have to listen to them close up because they're really freaking noisy. This is really off-putting. Will you give up out there? They're decimating stuff in there. It sounds as if they're scraping the bottom of the barrel. It only got filled up today. I don't know if I want blue. Maybe the end in three. Maybe I could. Do you know I could get pale blue, like a sky blue. That might work, maybe. Let's try. We can have a wee try out on this side. What have we got here? Oh, yeah. There's the sky blue, and it's nice and sharp. The birds are discussing big boobs as well, or a blue-footed booby. Yeah, okay. Do you know what's putting me off as well? These graphite lines, because they were quite thick round there and there was just no need for them. Just take it away. Right, so let's see. Yeah! Hooray! Just a really light line. Yeah, that's good. So I'm interested to know as well what everyone's going to do after the stream is finished. Have you all got plans? What is the deal? Obviously, for us here in the UK, it's coming up to 5 o'clock, so it's late afternoon for us. But I know for a lot of you, it's more near the start of the day. So I would love to hear if you've got anything else going on. My plans after this are I've got to clean up my kitchen. Obviously, I'm going to have to feed the goddamn birds. I need to clean up my kitchen because it's a bomb site and it's something that really bothers me. But I've just been really busy today. I wasn't feeling great yesterday, and Mr. Gemini ended up just sort of like abandoning the kitchen, and that's all still sitting from last night. So I need to do something about that. But once I've got everything sorted out and done all my bits and bobs, I'm going to sit down with a well-earned rest and I'm going to play Fallout 4, which I have been playing a lot of on my Steam Deck that I got for Christmas. And that is the sole extent of my plans for this evening. I'm making salmon for dinner as well, in case anybody's interested. Make dinner! Make the child's tea the child, even though he's quite a big child, is he not, by now, Minnie? Washing up, feeding the animals. Oh, I've got to go out and see my new baby as well. Finishing your book, Patty. Oh, do you know, I actually haven't read for ages. I might, do you know what? You've inspired me. I always read when I go to bed, like I spend half an hour reading. So yeah, I'm going to do that tonight, Patty. You have inspired me. Thank you. Empty the dishwasher. Chicken burgers as it's Wednesday. There's a routine when you have your son there. That's funny. Yeah, I'm steaming some salmon with some carrot batons, and I've got some baby potatoes as well. Yeah, 16, almost 6 foot, yeah. Oh, got a really itchy bit. Yeah, see, I have noticed because see when I'm on playing Fallout, it pops up in the corner on Steam, obviously, what you're playing, so I've noticed that. Uh, Baldur's Gate 3. A book club chat online. Oh, nice. Baldur's Gate is something I've never really gotten into. Daria, colouring every time. Never mind the jigsaw puzzles are for when you're really old. You get colouring. I was about to ask that question as well, Lou. Patty, what are you reading? Or what are you about to finish? Oh, Green Hat's having Duck. Duck, duck, duck. Eragon said, really? Oh, my mum's read them. Oh, dreaded trip to the grocery store. Oh, Jackie, I feel you so hard. I absolutely hate going to the supermarket. Like, I avoid it at all costs. It's not fun. Daria, but I am old. No, you're not. Elves, dwarves, and dragons. Isn't it funny when we move over into talking about other subjects, there's so much commonality between a lot of us. I always find that really interesting. I'm reading the Pickwick Papers just now by Charles Dickens. I tried to read it when I was a lot younger, and I couldn't get my mindset into it. Now, as a scientific person, I really appreciate it because it was supposed to be the first steps of like discovery of, things around them. So I'm actually really enjoying it, but you do have to have patience for Dickens, and I'm aware of that. And that's something that I definitely have a lot more of as a fully grown person than I did when I was younger. I'm actually really enjoying it, but I haven't. I've been, as I said, I've been sleeping really well, so I've literally been going getting into bed and shutting my eyes and like just conking out, and that's it. And I'm not mad about it. Right, I think I want to add some colour in here to the rest of our little chook. So I'm going to put a really light layer of this cream down first. Can't stop thinking about the Kellogg's cockerel. I don't know why, I just can't get it out of my mind. And for Forest Comb and and this little bit here, this should actually join up with his beak. Here we go, anatomical inaccuracies. Good grief. Right, okay, so yeah, I'm gonna use the terracotta for that. It's cool. Excuse me a moment. Oh, that's funny. Anatomical. Colouring animal loving gaming women. Lou, you've just described me to a T. And don't forget the Lego. What books do I have a degree in that? Lou, if you don't want to use the U, that's okay. We will accept all spellings of colouring here. Patty's just finished playing Jedi Fallen Order and it kicked her butt. Oh, that's funny. Oh, good grief. Daria, Jem, did you see the finished puzzle that I posted on Facebook? Well, no, I didn't. Is it on your own page, Daria? If so, I'll go and have a wee look at it because I think I would like to see that. It sounds interesting. Patty hasn't finished Tears of the Kingdom yet. Neither have I, Patty. I abandoned it for a wee while. Played Animal Crossing for a bit and then just got sick of my Switch and realised that my Steam Deck that I got for Christmas was gathering dust and that I'd best spend some time with that. And I have been playing Fallout since. And that's where we're at. Lou loved Lego as a girl. It is super expensive. The reason that I am able to afford, if you cast your eye back up on the top shelf there, those are all the modular builds, and there's now a fair number of them, and I've got one yet to build. The only reason I have money for Lego is because I stopped smoking, and it's cigarette money that funds my Lego habit now. I started building Lego when I stopped smoking, and it was something to do with my hands when I wanted a cigarette. So I would have a build. Again, in the old house, I had loads of space, so I had a build sitting, the way you'd have a jigsaw or a painting sitting, and every time I felt the need for a cigarette, I just go and like stick on a few blocks. If it wasn't for that, I would absolutely not have a ridiculous Lego habit because it's like they brought out. I thought I was gonna like die of excitement. They launched the new Zelda Lego sets, and that's like there you go. That's like my dream crossover. But this set is so expensive. Like it's a ridiculous amount of money for what it actually is when you look at it. And I'm thinking to myself, even with all the cigarette money in the world, I can't justify that. So they are really, really expensive. So totally understand. But do you know what? It's even better fun as an adult as it was when you were a kid. I've got again just to carry on, Lou. I've got all the if you want something simple, I've got the Animal Crossing sets, and those are up there. Because again, that's a gaming crossover, and I've got Bowser up there too. It depends on your patience. I like really big, complicated builds because I can chip away at them. And the modular buildings, which are really expensive, they're great for that because one of them lasts me like 5 or 6 months. Just having a go like when I've got time. So I suppose it depends what you're into. Susan's going to be playing Chase the Wednesday tonight. Best way to spend your evening, Susan. Ah. Yeah, best thing you'll ever do, Lou. I can say hand on heart, I'll be 2 years in September since I've stopped, and I have saved so much money, especially when I see the price of cigarettes now compared to what they were when I stopped. Like it's ridiculous. But one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, but one of the best things I've ever done. Apparently, they're porting Fallen Order to the older Xbox series, so I'll have to buy it again. Oh no. Oh, Angela, I love the Lego flowers. They look so pretty. Like I really, really like them, but I can't justify buying any more Lego. I bought all the Animal Crossing sets just after my birthday, and I've got the big modular building I've got is the corner garage, and that was a second hand set that I bought off of eBay because well, because it's a retired set, so and it's a big set. It's like 2,000 pieces plus, so I just can't justify buying any more Lego right now. But I really want the flowers; they're so pretty. The other thing I want is the Nintendo Piranha Plant and the Nintendo Entertainment System with the retro TV, because obviously Bowser has opposable thumbs and you can get him to hold the controller. So I totally want him playing Super Mario on the Nintendo with the Piranha Plant like over his shoulder. Like, that's like my dream setup. Maybe Christmas time. We'll see. We'll see. Proceed. Right, it is nearly 5 o'clock, guys. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut this off here. One of the things I wanted to ask you just before I disappear, I will do another work in progress Wednesday to continue this. We'll keep this exclusively for these live streams because I think it's only fair. But just before I disappear, I wanted to ask you, we've been given an opportunity to introduce our own washi tapes in the stash shop, and I just wondered if you guys would maybe have a couple of ideas of what you would like to see on the washi tape. I want to get one that is the Cave Pencil logo, but I was thinking like with a spectrum, like a rainbow background on it, and I would maybe use that to put on the envelopes. But I can put in for as many designs as I want. So do you think we want the Mecha Oggies as a washi tape? Or do you want to wait maybe another 3 or 4 months and have all the Aqua Buddies on one? That may be one for later on. If you've got any suggestions or any ideas, I'm happy to hear them. The deadline for this is the end of June, so I'm going to have to pick up fairly quickly and put the design together. So I was kind of thinking of artworks that we've already done, maybe stuff we've had as stickers, because that would be easy, obviously, to translate into washi tape format. So I would love to hear your views on that just before we pop off here. A colour cave washi tape, yes. Love a washi tape. Pretty flowers are animals for washi tape. Teeny stickers. It's a pencil. Do we want pencils? Oh, yeah, so we could have the Cave Pencil logo and we could have it alternated with the It's a Pencil pencil. It's a pencil. The sticker sets on washi tape as well as pencils. Okay. Christine loves the camel. Oh yeah. Okay, so pencil washi tape. Maybe some of our other stickers. Oh, I'd kind of forgotten about the birds, Jan, the comedy birds. Do you remember that? That is by far the funniest thing I've ever had that sells in the shop. The comedy birds were created when I was high on painkillers. That was after I'd tripped over Woo, which was my now deceased Jack Russell, and screwed up my foot, and I'd taken a whack of painkillers and then did a scroller box video. And see when I look really closely at the comedy birds, like see when you look at the line work. The lines don't even join up, like seriously, they don't join up, and I think that's a testament to all the drugs, and yet the sticker's so great. I tape with lots of pencils, rainbow pencils. Oh, rainbow pencils, and the Discord emojis. Okay, and the mecha animals. Yeah, I think there's not too much detail in the Mecha Oggies to make into a tape. The fact that there's only 3 of them though, it would be quite a repetitive pattern. So I don't know how we can work that out. But I'll try it out. The birds were hilarious. No, I was hilarious. Oh, if it's a cave washi tape, I'll be breaking my no buy on washi tape. Well, the thing is, the only reason that I've invested in this, Susan, is because it's Julia's supplier. So I use Julia's washi tape. And as we know, all washi tapes are not made equally. And I like the quality and the relative stickiness of Julia's tapes. And even the broader width ones are really good as well. I like the wider ones for sticking down, when I'm painting, and then I like the thinner ones to make things pretty. So I thought we would take up the opportunity while we could. Discord emojis. Other hands washi tape, that would be hilarious. Okay, I will definitely give that some thought over. Again, this week is just not the week for it. Like I've got too much going on. But if the thing is, if it's artworks that we've already done, it's a fairly quick process for me to put them into a washi tape template. So we'll definitely have a look at that, and I'll maybe reconvene in that next week after all my shenanigans are over. Thea hasn't dared use Julia's washi tape yet because it's so pretty. I was kind of like that to start with because I only had one roll of her Pretty Potions tape and I knew that there wasn't any more at that time, so I was really precious of it. Then I thought, well, what's the point? I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it. So you use it. Speaking of other hands for the mods, yeah, our mods have had to work really hard today. Right, guys, thanks very much for your input. I'm just sorry that we didn't get a little bit further with Cluckmarine, but we're not really in any rush, and it's more about the journey and talking about boobs and other things. I've really enjoyed your company this afternoon, so thanks for coming and joining me. Yes, all the other hands for our mods who've done absolutely grand sum of zero today, but that's fine. I'm just happy to have you guys here, mods. I mean, and you know your support. I really appreciate it too, because you just turn up. I don't even have to ask you anymore. I'm going to get on with other stuff and go and feed these poor birds so they don't fight. And keep your eyes peeled tomorrow for an unboxing video. And as I said at the beginning of the stream, on Sunday you will have an Ink House video to get us going with that little set. For those of you that are watching after the fact, if you have any input in terms of washi tape, please feel free to leave it down in the comments. I really hope you enjoy the rest of your day, guys. I've had a good time. Wait and see what's happening next week before I schedule the next Work in Progress Wednesday. It will not be next Wednesday. It might be the following week. So have a great day, everyone. Thanks again for your company and enjoy the rest of your day and all the other hands to y'all. Bye, guys.